Mamma mia! Please don't go again. Mauro, I'm really gonna miss you. Mamma mia! Somebody end the pain. By God, I'm really gonna miss you. So I say thank you to Ranallo. I could be here all day. Anywho, I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com, and here are your Tuesday morning headlines. Mauro Ranallo leaves WWE, and I'm really bloody sad about it, okay? We have some backstage news on Roman Reigns' heel turn over the weekend and what plans could be for the big dog going forwards. And we have Vince McMahon's special instructions for a match at WWE Payback. Now, it was a lovely, quiet Monday evening on the old Twitter machine before Ravey Davey Dave Meltzer himself dropped a massive bombshell on us all when he tweeted, Mauro Ranallo and WWE parting ways, details forthcoming. Now, of course, it was one of those instances where we were all praying, please let this be a load of bollocks that Ravey Davey is tweeting, please let this be wrong, but no. Later that night, WWE then confirmed the news with a brief statement on their website. WWE and Mauro Ranallo have mutually and amicably agreed to part ways. Mauro's passion and enthusiasm left an indelible and exciting mark with WWE and its fans, and we wish him the best in his future endeavours. Mike Johnson of PW Insider then added even more news to this developing breaking news story last night when he reckons that Mauro Ranallo finished with NXT sometime over the past few weeks, with one WWE source telling him Mauro's last night was a takeover XXX. Dave Meltzer then added more meat to this bone when he revealed that Mauro has actually been heading back to British Columbia to tend to his mother, who unfortunately has been hospitalised recently. And you know what? Fair play to WWE, because in the midst of what must have been a very tricky situation for Mauro, WWE have allowed him to produce his NXT weekly commentary from his home studio in Santa Monica, California. But ultimately, however, Mauro wants a less stressful schedule so he can tend to his ill mother. Mauro, of course, then shared his thoughts on his departure from WWE when he said, I appreciate the opportunity I had to realise my childhood dream of working in sports entertainment, and I wish WWE well in the future. Now I want to direct my focus and devote my time to my other projects and to my mental health charitable activities and the well-being of my mother and myself. NXT General Manager William Regal then shared his thoughts on Twitter about Mauro's departure when he tweeted, I cannot thank my friend Mauro enough for his time spent with NXT. You are an incredible announcer and talent, and I'll miss our lovely old British wrestling and life chats. Per the report from Dave Meltzer himself, Mauro will continue his role with Showtime covering boxing and his role with Bellator MMA. But as for the Mauro Ranallo-shaped hole, now on commentary in NXT, it would appear that former Intercontinental Champion and bringer of bad news, terrible Preston accent from me there, Wade Barrett will be taking the role on a more full-time basis. So there we have it, everybody. Mauro Ranallo has taken on less work these days so he can first of all take care of his mother and devote more time to his charitable causes. Our Mauro is a commendable fellow, isn't he? I think I speak on behalf of the entire watching WWE, NXT, professional wrestling universe when I say, Mauro, thank you for the memories over the past 4 years. You will be missed. Now then, those of you who saw last week's SmackDown will have seen Roman Reigns himself being a bit more of a Mr. Sassy Pants. As we all saw, Mr. McMahon's number one bitch, Adam Pearce, needed to get some signatures, first of all from the Monster Among Men Braun Strowman, second of all from the murder clown Braun Strowman, and third of all from the very sassy dog. But when it came for Roman's turn to sign the contract, he was like, no, Adam Pearce, no, I need to read this thing first. First of all, when does a professional wrestler ever read a contract they're going to sign for a big wrestling match? And second of all, he's like, we need some terms added to this contract. You go away, you silly man. Roman was being a bit of a dick, wasn't he? Then, of course, we all saw what happened at Payback on Sunday when Roman Reigns took to the ramp alongside his new manager, it would appear Paul Heyman, and he signed the contract after the bell for that main event match had already rung and after Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman had already just about murdered each other. You know, some people might say that doesn't make sense, but me, I hope on this week's SmackDown we learn that Roman was like, well, I want to close added that I can sign this contract after the bell has rung, otherwise I'm not taking part. Hopefully they do that because it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? And now coming off Payback 2020, PW Insider are reporting that Roman Reigns is going to be pushed as a fully bona fide heel, with Bray Wyatt of all people now going to be pushed as the number one babyface on Friday Night SmackDown. And while we're here speaking about babyfaces and heels, PW Insider also note that Braun Strowman and his big baldy heat and his brand new heel persona that came about thanks to The Fiend, of course, is also here to stay. Braun Strowman is now a proper heel. WrestlingNews.co also add to this story where they claim that what we saw on Friday's SmackDown was supposed to be Roman Reigns' official heel turn in WWE. But of course, with us professional wrestling fans being the way we bloody are, we're a set of bastards, aren't we? WWE expect Roman Reigns to be cheered. According to that report from Wrestling News Co., the end goal for this brand new Roman Reigns character, and I quote, is for Roman to be the ultimate babyface and to finally get him on the top tier level like John Cena. WrestlingNews.co also claimed this brand new edgier version of Roman Reigns was supposed to debut in WWE coming out of WrestleMania 36 before, of course, the big dog himself pulled out of all things WWE in the midst of the pandemic. According to the report, Roman Reigns was supposed to have a chip on his shoulder after defeating Goldberg at WrestleMania 36 for the Universal title, and due to a short match that was supposed to kick Roman Reigns off as a bona fide heel. Damn you, Billy, and your 5-minute slugfests. Me, Roman Reigns, I wanted a 30-minute technical classic, and you didn't give me that, Bill. Boo me, fans, boo me. And then more shockingly, we have more from this WrestlingNews.co report, and I need to read this out word for word because it is flabbergasting. They say there was a realization by Vince McMahon that they couldn't do the same thing they've been doing for years with Reigns. So that is why the decision was made to turn him heel. And I don't know about you at home, everybody, but me stood here in front of you, a no-good, talentless hack on the interwebs who should know nothing, does know nothing about the world of professional wrestling. I could have told you WWE were doing Roman Reigns wrong all the way back in 2014. How's it taken Vince McMahon this long to realise he's been booking Roman Reigns wrong, that suffering, succotash fool? But better late than never, eh? And now attention's turn, of course, to what is next for the brand new sassy dog Universal Champion himself, the heel, Roman Reigns. And according to WrestlingNews.co once again, the plans are, in Vince McMahon's mind at least, that Vince McMahon wants Roman Reigns to hold the Universal title all the way through until WrestleMania 37 next year. And if that is the case, everybody, I want to see Big E win the Royal Rumble after being pushed more and more and more as 2020 comes to a conclusion. Then at WrestleMania 37, we have the heel, Roman Reigns, defending his Universal Champion against the babyface Big E. Big E defeats Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hugs Big E. We've got brand new babyface on Smackity Down in the form of Roman Reigns, and then we're off to the races there. So as I mentioned earlier on, former WWE Intercontinental Champion himself, Wade Barrett, is going to be the man tasked with filling a Mauro Ranallo-shaped hole on NXT commentary. Barrett, who of course made waves on the professional wrestling commentary scene when he debuted for the NWA towards the end of 2019, made his black and gold commentary debut on last week's episode, and now PW Insider are reporting that Wade Barrett is currently locked in negotiations with WWE about becoming a more full-time permanent announcer for them. Even though he hasn't signed a full-time deal as I'm stood here speaking to you right now, Wade Barrett is scheduled to appear on this week's Super Tuesday episode of NXT, where of course we will see that fatal 4-way 60-minute Iron Man match for the vacant NXT title, pitting Adam Cole against Tommaso Ciampa, against Johnny Gargano, against your boy Finn Balor. Balor, of course, in the words of William Regal. That was weird, wasn't it? Per that report from PW Insider, there is also talk within the four walls of WWE HQ that Wade Barrett could be used in some form of announcing role for NXT UK. And I'm saying, why stop there, WWE? Make Wade Barrett the authority figure for NXT UK. Make him the UK champion. Maybe that bit's a bit too far, but still, just make Wade Barrett the face of NXT UK. It would get me more interested. I don't know about you at home. And finally, you may remember at WWE Payback on Sunday, Keith Lee defeated Randall Keith in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. This happened on a WWE pay-per-view, for goodness sake. We can forget about the attire, which, by the way, is getting there step by step. The weird shorts/skirt thing, they're gone. We can take that and head for the hills. It's a good thing. We can forget about the music because Keith Lee defeated Randall Keith Orton in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And this isn't any old Randall Keith Orton, by the way. This is the most interesting Randall Keith Orton we've seen since 2009. It's a monumental thing, so it is. And we have some backstage news from that match at Payback between Randall Keith and Keith, with Vince McMahon apparently tasking Randall Keith with making Keith Lee a star. A WWE source reached out to TalkSport and they said, imagine how high Vince has to be on someone to have Randy Orton put them over as clean as a whistle. Orton, doing the best work of his career, wants to help create that next generation of stars. He, Orton, gets it. My pal Alex McCarthy over at TalkSport has penned an article on their website about this entire scenario, where it is claimed that originally Randall Keith wanted to work with either Tommaso Ciampa or Adam Cole at SummerSlam, but now the Keith match has happened, and I quote once again, Vince McMahon wants to punch. No, he doesn't want to punch. He probably wants to punch me for fluffing that line, but he also wants to push Keith Lee to the moon. So the debut on Raw last week with the gear and the music and the Drew McIntyre interfering in the Randy Orton versus Keith Lee match, shunting Keith Lee to one side. That is one thing, but Payback, they sort of got the gear back to what it was. The music is what it is. Apparently it was different to the one he used on Raw, but you could have fooled me. They're both terrible. We're getting there step by step, but Randall Keith was defeated by Keith Lee in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and that is how you build a star. We're getting there with Keith Lee. Trust in Keith. And that is it for all of your Tuesday news here at Cultaholic.com. If you haven't already, check out the earlier news video with Tom Campbell, which was on this channel earlier today. As for the rest of the content, the hashtag content here at Cultaholic.com, Raw Graded will be on the channel once again with Tom. I'll be here with the WTF moments for last night's Raw as well. Everything is Raw. I'm Raw, so Raw. I'll see you next time, everybody.